Hello, we're back again on Brilliant Math Series, Introduction to Geometry. How many of you were able to do the last piece of work on lines, vertical lines, horizontal lines, perpendicular lines? You'll find the answers to that exercise on the blog. Go to brilliantmaths.com, look for YouTube answers. Log in there and check your work. Today we are continuing our lessons on Introduction to Geometry. Today we'll be looking at angles. What is an angle? An angle is formed when two lines meet or intersect, and it is the measure of the amount of turning between the two lines. For example, we have line AB and line BC. Line AB and line BC meet at point B. So the angle is formed there. And the point where the two lines meet is called the vertex. Line AB and line BC are called the arms of the angle. To name this angle, the angle B, we write it as angle ABC with the angle sign in front, and B is in the middle, showing that that is where the angle is. Or we could also name it as angle CBA with the angle sign in front. Or we could name it as angle ABC with the angle sign on top of B, showing that the angle is actually at B, that B is the vertex. Or CBA, or just angle B in this case. The vertex is always listed in the middle of the angle name because the vertex is where the angle is. Next, we are looking at classifying angles. Having talked about angles, we said that an angle is formed when two lines meet, and it is a measure of the turning between the two lines. Here, the turning is just about to begin, so we call this 0 degrees. At this point, it has turned from east to north, directly facing the north, and is 90 degrees. We call this 1/4 turn, and we also call it a right angle. A right angle is equal to 90 degrees. At this point, the line has turned from east and it's now facing the west. This is an angle of 180 degrees. It is also called a straight angle or half turn. And then we have the angle turning from east facing south. It has gone all the way around. And this is 270 degrees. It is also called 3/4 turn. And then finally we have a full turn or revolution. That is a complete turn from 0 to 360. Still classifying angles, we have 5 types of angles. One, we have acute angles. Acute angles are angles that are less than 90 degrees. The turn is very small, as we can see. This is an acute angle. This is also an acute angle. We have a third acute angle there. It really doesn't matter the direction the angles are facing. The fact is that these angles are all less than 90 degrees. Next, we have the right angles, like we saw before. When it is a quarter turn, it is a right angle. Right angles are angles that are equal to 90 degrees. These are some examples of right angles. That's a right angle. That's another right angle. And although this doesn't look like a right angle, it is a right angle because the two lines are perpendicular. They meet at a right angle. We also have obtuse angles. Obtuse angles are angles that are greater than 90 degrees, but they are less than 180 degrees. That means the angle has turned all the way from 0 through to 90, but doesn't get to 180, like we saw before. We have a straight angle. A straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. That's an example of a straight angle. And then finally, we have a reflex angle. Reflex angles are angles that are greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360 degrees. That means the turning has gone through from 0 to 90, through 180 degrees, through 270 degrees, and is getting back to 360. It's greater than 180, but less than 360. But we must notice that the inner angle of a reflex angle can either be acute, as we have in this case, or obtuse. The inner angle here is an acute angle, obviously. The inner angle here is an obtuse angle. But the back angle is reflex. It's greater than 180, but it's less than 360 degrees. Let's look at this example. Classify the following angles. We're going to classify these angles by simple observation. The first one, angle PQR. Looking at the arms of the angle and the measure of the turn, angle PQR is obviously an obtuse angle. So write angle PQR. Remember the angle is at Q, and that's the one at the center. Is an obtuse angle. Next, we have angle ABC. We can see from the mark of the angle that angle ABC is a right angle. Angle ABC is a right angle. Then we have the third one, angle XYZ. Angle XYZ, looking at the arms of the angle, has a very small amount of turning. So it's an acute angle. Angle XYZ is an acute angle. To be able to classify angles without measuring, what you need to do is look at the arms of the angle and estimate the measure of the turn. If you look at it and it's more than 90 degrees, it's an obtuse angle. If it's less than 90 degrees, it's an acute angle. And if it is more than 180 degrees, which is a straight angle, then it is reflex. Example 2. What type of angles are these? We want to be able to classify these angles by looking at the measure. The first one is 150 degrees. What type of angle is it? An angle of 150 degrees is an obtuse angle. An angle of 180 degrees is a straight angle. An angle of 21 degrees, that's obviously very small. So it's an acute angle. '81 degrees is less than 90 degrees. So that's also an acute angle. An angle of 305 degrees is a reflex angle. An angle of 200 degrees is greater than 180 degrees, but less than 360. So it's also a reflex angle. So you can classify angles without actually measuring them. But if you know their measures, then you can know what type of angles they are. Let's try out this exercise. Question 1. An angle of 145 degrees is an acute angle. True or false? Question 2. What type of angle is an angle that measures 91 degrees? Question 3. What is the measure of a straight angle? Question 4. What type of angle is an angle that measures 88 degrees? Question 5. Give an example of a reflex angle. For question 5, answers could vary because it depends on what you choose. Make an effort to try out the questions. My name is Ngozi Orevaoghene. Follow me on brilliantmaths.com. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you like what we're doing here, give me a thumbs up. And always remember, maths is fun.